Salutations, friend, I'm Danny Irizarry, and today I'm talking about the 15 things that I learned from being on the set of a feature film. I'm going to be talking about two different parts of things that I learned on set. Preparation, and then things I learned on set that were applicable that day. So if you just want to jump to what I learned, what I used on set, go ahead and click right here, but I would suggest that you stay and learn a little bit about pre-production, if you will, as well. Also, if you're ADD like I am, go and jump to the very end of the video. I've got just a list of everything I learned typed down, and you can just look those up. Also, links to my logs that I did for 5 days. I promised I would do more, but I got busy and lazy and only did 5 logs. But check those out, and I give some advice in those too. Number 1 is watch content. Sorry, I just spit. This basically just means go out and watch as many movies as you can, which is pretty cool as an actor to be able to go do that and say that you're doing your job. This was information given to me by another actress on set who also is a producer and a director, so she really has her foot there in the industry. But her advice was watch as many movies as you can so you can get an idea of what's popular right now, so you're on top of what's going on. But I haven't seen any of the Harry Potter films, which is actually a detriment to me because they're such a major part of our culture and of the film industry that not having seen those causes me to be at a disadvantage because I haven't seen what is popular and what directors may be looking for. Number 2, research pre, mid, and post-production for any aspect of the film industry. And I would even suggest, if you're an actor, go and research the technical aspect of filmmaking so you've got an idea of how what you do affects other people's jobs. I would recommend checking out the YouTube channel Film Riot, even if you're not looking at being an actor, which if you're not going to be an actor, I don't know why you're listening to me babble on. But, whoop, I lost my microphone. Go check out Film Riot, 1, because it's an incredible resource for actors and filmmakers alike, but 2, because it's hilarious, and I learned so much from it. I would also suggest that you direct your own short film. Just grab some buddies of yours and make one. Try and make it as professional as you can, but I mean, it doesn't have to be something that you make millions of dollars from and you show to everybody. You can just make it for yourself. But going through the process of making your own film teaches you so much about what goes into every part of the job and why everything needs to be done. Number 3, annotate your script. This, of course, applies to once you've gotten a script or once you've gotten an audition slip and you've been given all the information you're going to get before you get in front of the camera. Annotating makes you intentionally get into your character's head and figure out what he's going for, what his motivations are and what his emotions are in every scene. Here on my script, if you look right there, I wrote down some of the flaws in my character. That's something else. Oh man, that's another tangent. I'm gonna touch on this really quickly, because I can. It's a YouTube video and I've got control here. Stop contradicting! It's my video here. You can ask any actor what you like about their character, and they'll come up with 3 or 4 answers right away, but a lot of them don't think about what's wrong with their character. Spending some time to think about things that need to be improved about your character or things that can emphasize the character arc can make your performance that much better. So I would spend some time, look at your character, and just write down some of the things that you don't like about him. Back to annotating your script. There's, even on my first page, I gleaned so much information, mostly even from the first page. If you look how much red there is on there, that's just all my markings of things that I gleaned from this paper. And the tiniest little things can impact your performance as well. There's a mention, it says children are playing in some of the yards here. What I did, I went through older versions of the script and through this script and looked and saw how many children I could possibly find in this neighborhood that may possibly have been playing in their yards. From there you can ask the question, well, did my character see any of them? How does he feel about them? Has he noticed them at all? If he doesn't notice them, it doesn't influence his performance. But if he has noticed them, then it can change totally how he performs that scene, and it can change his emotions and everything. Number 4 is come up with tics for your character. Now, a lot of these can be physical tics being things like scratching their temple or fixing their hair, which is something that I actually do a lot in real life. But it's also good to come up with a silent mental tic or something that they do unconsciously. My character is a nerdy, antisocial character, so his tic would be something very mathematical and orderly. So what I came up with, when my character isn't saying lines or interacting with anyone, just sitting there, he's going through multiples of 2, or 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16, 16 plus so on and so forth. And that just gave me an intentional way of staying in character. One has a tendency to just kind of drop out of character and be themselves when they're not doing anything. But by intentionally existing in that character, by thinking in that character, it gives another layer of depth to your performance and forces you to continually remain in character, even in moments where it may be a little bit harder. Number 5, I'm gonna stop doing that because I'm gonna run out of hands, but ask for a shooting schedule. As soon as you can, see if you can figure out when you're gonna be doing what scenes and what lines need to be memorized when, so you can get an idea of how the week or the, however long you're gonna be filming is gonna go and what needs to be done when. It also helps with memorization, so you can get on top of that, and helps you keep a timeline, if you will, in your head of when the character is going through what. Now we come to about the midsection of preparation. This is when you know you've been casting, you're about to head out, and you want to make sure you have everything. So almost a packing list, kind of a faux actor's packing list. Number 1, make sure you bring makeup and or powder, and bring both. For guys, this is a little weird because we very rarely use makeup unless you're in theater or in film. But just have a makeup kit. Go and get that professionally done, because there are sometimes, if you're on a low budget project, they're not going to have a makeup person to take care of that for you, and you want to make sure you're selling the product, in this case, as an actor, which is yourself, making yourself look as good as possible. For guys, this is probably what you need: foundation and cover-up and powder to keep you from getting shiny. Being shiny is a major no-no on set. You don't want to be sweaty and look shiny, so make sure you bring powder to keep that from happening. For girls, this probably isn't a huge surprise. You tend to carry makeup with you, so you're probably a little bit safer, but nonetheless, make sure you have makeup with you and you're prepared to be on set. Also, bring anti-itch cream. It's a little abstract, but if you're ever outside filming and you get mosquito bites or poison ivy or anything that would make you itch, spider bites, you want to have something to counteract that, because you can't be sitting on set scratching yourself while you're acting, and it's just not fun to be sitting there and not be able to scratch. So make sure you bring hydrocortisone or something that will prevent you from being irresistibly itchy on set. Wow, I dropped that. Yay! Welcome to the onset portion of this video, which is number 8, or number 1 of the onset portion. Yeah. Number 8 is don't always expect to be able to interact with other actors on set. I touched a little bit on this tip in this log here, but I'm going to go a little bit more into depth on this. A lot of the time, if you're acting, you're going to be alone on set. It's just going to be you, especially if you're the main character or supporting role. There's going to be times where it's just you on set and getting what's going on. This also brings up the challenge of actors not being there when they're supposed to. Sometimes actors can't get there on time, or sometimes you just have to film a scene that requires that actor before the director has asked them to come. So sometimes you'll do reversals where the camera, I talked about reversals, they're in this log here. So sometimes you'll do reversals of just you, and you're looking at a crew member or a dummy on a stick, and that's your eye line. And the other actor isn't even there, so you're interacting with someone without actually being able to play off another actor. This can sometimes make it challenging to get into character, and sometimes get into the swing of things, get into the mood of what the scene is. So just keep that in mind as you're getting ready to be on set. Number 9 is character situation. Make sure you know what has just happened in the surrounding scenes. Again, as I talked about in this log here, films are very rarely filmed in chronological order. So a lot of the time, it'll be a little bit hard to keep track of what's just happened and what's going to happen in the scene. So it's hard to just get your environment and realize what your character is thinking. That being said, each time you know what scene you're going to be doing, go and look through the scenes around it and make sure you know what has just happened, what's going to happen, and what your character is thinking based on those situations that have already happened. One example of this from on set is when my character has a nightmare. And we filmed that the night before, and then the next day we filmed the scene where I reacted and I woke up. But I didn't realize that was the order of the scenes. I thought my character was just waking up from a different evening, and he was waking up very gently and came out of bed. And later on the director told me that it came up in conversation that was right after the nightmare dream sequence. And knowing that now, I would have played that scene very differently to the camera and played it actually almost entirely differently, and it would have been a lot handier to, if I had been on top of that and if I had thought about what was going on before and had thought to ask my director that. Number 10 is read-through. Now, read-through is a memorization technique. You may have heard of this, but essentially it's where you read through the scene without doing any emotion. This is particularly helpful if you're doing it with a scene partner or with more than one actor. So you read through without any emotion just to get the words into your head. Oftentimes you're not going to struggle trying to remember what emotion the character is having, but the hardest part is just that memorization of getting the words down. And if you haven't taken the time previously to memorize the words, it's a handy technique to memorize on the spot. Number 11 is memorization on set. This is another thing I learned from the lady who recommended watching more movies. One thing that she avoided at all costs was working on memorizing the scene on set. The reason for this is because if you work on memorizing on set before everything is set and the camera is where it's supposed to be and you're all blocked out, you'll start to memorize things with visual and physical and audible cues that aren't going to be there when you're actually filming. So then when you start filming, you're going to forget the lines again. Her technique was to work on memorizing in different places in the house. That way you don't make those connections. I found often, for myself, that works better too. Number 12, sweating. Basically, don't sweat. As I mentioned earlier, being shiny on set is not a good thing. It doesn't look good on camera. Sweating makes you shinier and it counteracts the effect of the makeup. Also, if you sweat too much, you'll get underarm stains, which are not good either. So make sure that whenever you're not filming, you're in as cool a place as possible. Again, in this log, there's a little section where she advises not sitting under the lights, so don't sit under lights. And try and stay under fans. I'm under a fan right now, or stay outside if it's cool out there. Another suggestion for underarm stains is to take feminine hygiene pads and put them on your underarms, and they'll soak up the sweat and keep you from getting underarm stains or from being sweaty and looking bad on set. 13 is eating food and drinking on set. I'd say generally just try to avoid it, especially if you're in the middle of filming. My suggestion would be don't eat because 1, you may get food around your mouth, and 2, then you've still got some food in your mouth, and so you're still salivating and your mouth is still trying to dissolve it, so you'll end up having a lot of saliva in your mouth and it'll make it harder to talk, and you may just have food in your teeth, which doesn't look good when you're filming. And then drinking as well. If you drink energy drinks, there are mixed opinions on this. Sometimes if you're filming late, you have to, so that you stay awake and you're alert in your performance. But if you drink too much, then you're going to be mentally overstimulated and you won't be able to focus on staying in character. 14, almost there. 14 is be on set even if you're not acting. This goes along with making sure you know all the aspects of the industry. But being on set, even if you're not acting, helps you get a feel for what your director is like, what he's looking for, and the other actors and what they're like. Helps you even get a feel of what the cinematographer is looking for and what the sound guy is like. So just making sure you're around everybody as much as possible will help you be on top of everything and make sure you know what's going on so that you can have a better performance. Number 15 is washing your clothes. Now this goes along with sweating, and this is particularly wardrobe. Wash your wardrobe as often as possible so it looks fresh on the video and you're not stinking everybody else out on set. And it just, more polite. So if there's washing machines at home base, fantastic, go ahead and do that. If not, go to a laundromat and just make sure everything is as clean as often as possible. Those are my 15 things that I learned. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope this helped. If you have any questions, suggestions, or corrections, please comment down below and let me know. I'd really like to hear from you and start a conversation with you. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and subscribe. I'm gonna try and make videos every week, so if you wanna come see what I have to say, come subscribe and it'll notify you, or you have to put up some settings for notifications, but it'll notify you when I make videos. I hope this helped. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. thanks so much for watching. I hope this helped you. Thanks so much for hoping. Number 12, sweating. Basically, don't sweat. No, don't sweat it. Ahaha! Sweat it. Get okay. Ouch. One example of this is one example is to just go out and watch as many movies as you can, which is a pretty sweet. Oh boy. Oh no, my microphone is plugged in. Yay! Welcome to the onset portion of this video. So number 1 of onset, which is really number 6. We'll go with number. I don't know why. Why is this? Okay, never mind. Oh, I lost my microphone. Woo! That's not how I anticipated my day would turn out. Yay! Welcome to the onset portion of this video. So, number 6, or number 1 for onset, but we're going with number 6, is something. Darn, let me check my list. Oh, I got it. Character situation.